It's just 1 week away till the world first race begins for the first tier of Arcadion Savage in the new Final Fantasy XIV expansion, Dawntrail. With the new expansion comes new players that might want to know what's going on with the raid scene in Final Fantasy XIV. And of course, it'll be more fun to watch if you are aware for the top contenders of the race. So I will tell you some of my top picks to look up for in no particular order for streaming or non-streaming team with their brief history so you can enjoy watching the Arcadion Savage world first like I do for the past few years. Without any further ado, this is Aylaveen and here's the top teams to look out for in a world first race for Arcadion Savage. Number 1. Echo Neverland. Of course, the number one highlight of the whole race is going to be Team Neverland from EU that has been picked up by Echo Esports, which is huge because they have been consistently the best team in the world for the past few races, including winning both Endwalker Ultimate Race if you don't include the cheating team in top, and winning the last Savage raid Anabaseos. But bear in mind, this will be the first time that Team Echo Neverland fully streamed their prog, and honestly, I don't know if they can still win the race since streaming team is usually at a disadvantage. But I kinda want them to win, because if they do, it will forever change the scene and the other top non-streaming teams will have no reason not to stream for the next races. Number 2. Aether Group 3. We can't talk about the world race without one of the best team in NA right now, which is Aether Group 3 that features some of the best players in the world like R. Hoshizora that has played with one of the greatest team of all time, TPS. Or Beagle Goose, a great tank that unfortunately best remembered for his jailed incident for using third party on stream. The team itself has been neck to neck with Neverland for quite some time and finishing second for the last two races. But sadly, this team most likely won't be streaming, but we can still look forward for their VODs post-clear. Number 3. Team Kryle. Team Kryle, which is led by Kuro-san, is a streaming team from Japan and they have been pretty consistent in top 10 throughout Endwalker. They rose to prominence notably for finishing as the world first stream in DSR. This team also previously housed Arthas, one of the top streamers in Final Fantasy XIV community. But unfortunately, he won't be joining Team Kryle for the world first, but they are still a top contender from JP. Number 4. Team DN. Team DN is another streaming team from NA that also consists of streamers and content creators, notably Deadsnail, Momo, and Rin Kargani. This team has actually been around for quite some time and consistently placing pretty high like top 10 in Asphodelos and Abyssos, but actually surprised everyone last year by claiming world first stream and world fourth overall. This team will definitely be a top contender and you want to watch their streams. Number 5. Team Rat. Previously, I mentioned a bit about TPS or thoughts per second being one of the greatest team that has consistently won the race from Shadowbringers to early Endwalker. After their downfall mid-Endwalker, TPS decided to disband and some of their core players, notably Sphia and Sindolf, wants to stick together and reform into a team that keeps changing their name, which in this race apparently will be called Rat. Coincidentally, after the disband, a personal friend of mine named Ashelia Drug, whose nickname is very basic and randomly generated, get into the team. So naturally, being a good friend that I am, I will want my friend Ashelia to definitely lose. Sadly, this team won't be streaming either, but we can still look forward for their VODs and see if they can bring back the glory days of TPS. Last but not least, Kindred is also a streaming team from NA that notably housed Peridot, a very high-skilled caster main. They have been consistently placing top 10 throughout Endwalker and personally for me, their prog is pretty fun to watch. I would recommend you guys to check them out for the next race. Also, outside of those teams, I will take into account for Team Grind, a JP team that has been consistently placing very high including world third last race. Lucrezia, a legendary JP team that has been around since early days of world racing that apparently is going to bring out a few teams for this world race. Also Karanas Tivoli, a streaming team that hosts Renown, a famous content creator, and maybe Safety Helmet, that hosts one of the biggest Final Fantasy XIV content creator, Xenosis Fax. All in all, no matter who wins, I think this race is going to be exciting and a very interesting new start for the scene, especially with a team getting sponsored from a big esports organization. If the community can show outside investors that the world first race in Final Fantasy XIV got a huge viewership, we can get more of them to invest on top teams. The scene itself would grow and ultimately Square Enix will be forced to take part in it and regulate it somehow, so the tragedy like the top cheating scandal won't happen, which I think in the long run will be very beneficial for the game. So that's about it. Please leave a comment down below on which one of those teams mentioned do you think will win. And let me know if I missed any potential team that you think is a good contender for the race. See you next week on the world first race.